Okay, well, hi. Um, my name is Kari, which you know because we've been in class together for 12 to 14 weeks or something like that. And I am here to present my final project for Uni 220 and just kind of talk about how I feel like I've grown and improved as a person over this past semester because of your class and also because of what I have implemented in your class. So, the first thing I want to talk about is the piece of your class that I thought was really important to me and helped me a lot, and that would be SMART goals. And I know that setting realistic goals is something that not a lot of people would think is hard, but setting realistic goals has always been something that's been extremely, extremely difficult for me personally. So I think it was really cool to be able to break down SMART goals and figure out why the goals I'm setting aren't working for me because believe it or not, I do set goals. They just don't work out all the time. So, with that, I've started to really be able to take like SMART goals and make goals that I know are achievable for me and break them down a lot more. And that's helped me a lot. Um, this past semester has been a really interesting semester for me personally because this is the first semester that I've gone through a lot of traumatic events and I haven't given up. And that's really cool because I tend to give up when things get rough. Um, but I didn't give up this semester, and I think that's mostly because of your class. And I know that sounds silly and cheesy and corny, but having your class to come to every week was something that I really looked forward to. And I knew that, well, I had to be there because I missed 2 days almost right off the bat. But normally, when it comes to attendance, I really struggle. And that's one of the things that I really struggled with in your class was attendance. Um, but I knew I had to be there, and I wasn't willing to let myself down for the first time in 2 years. I wasn't willing to fail a class that I knew I could easily pass if I just showed up. And I think that really proved something to me. And I think that was really awesome. Um, how else I've changed this semester is I've actually started to see a therapist again, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but it's something that I was ashamed of for a long time. And I went to therapy a ton growing up just because I had so many family problems and so many emotional problems and so many problems, period. And going to your class kind of made me realize that I need to ask for help. And asking for help isn't something that's shameful or frowned upon. And that was a really big step for me. And since I've started going back to therapy, I've grown leaps and bounds. I did go through like a really dark period this semester. I'm still kind of going through a dark period, and I've been very depressed and having, you know, scary thoughts that I haven't had in a long time. And without therapy, I don't think that I would be able to get through this like I am and be able to be as strong as I'm being. And like I said, I contribute going back to therapy and reaching out and getting the help I need to your class and to the concepts that we talked about. And mostly because it reminded me that I am who I am today because of all of my experiences that I've been through and because I asked for help in those experiences. And your class and your teaching and being able to participate about topics that I've learned from a young age, from 10, 12, 16, but I just haven't been using. I have all these tools in my toolbox, I just haven't been using them. And so I'm starting to use them again, and it's amazing, like the difference it's made, not just in school, but in my life. Like my relationships have improved. I'm starting to realize like what I deserve out of life and that I'm not willing to settle anymore. Like I'm not willing to settle for failure in school. I'm not willing to settle for failure in relationships. Like, I'm not willing to settle for failure in friendships. Like, I deserve more than that. I've worked way too freaking hard to not succeed and not have successful relationships and to not be happy. And I'm getting really heated, but like, I feel like this is all stuff that I needed kind of a kick in the butt to realize. And going to Uni 220 has really helped me realize that. Not only that, but like, it's helped me realize, like, I always thought before I started coming to your class that, like, I was a failure in college and that I didn't have any strengths, because if I had strengths, then I wouldn't be here. That I would be, you know, I would be on the top of the class and not the bottom of the food chain. Um, but I have a lot of strengths in regard to college, like, it's not only in regards to college, but in regards to life. And I think one of those strengths being, like, I kind of, you know, it doesn't matter how many times I get knocked out, I get back up. And I think the fact that I'm here right now recording this video says a lot, because these past 2 years, like, I've done absolutely awful. And yet I kept getting back up and I kept fighting the good fight. And now I'm honestly really successful this semester. And I'm really proud of myself because I have gotten my first A plus in my whole college experience, which is like kind of amazing because it's been 2 years. You think I'd be better than that? I've gotten my first A plus. I've gone to almost every single one of my classes this whole semester. I've missed, maybe I can count on one hand how many classes, and that's including the 2 that I've missed in your class. And that was kind of amazing because previous semesters, like, I didn't go to any classes. Like, no wonder I failed. Some other strengths that I think that I've found is that I am really great at this, like, balancing act of, like, being able to maintain work and school. And that's not because I've always been great at it. That's just because putting myself on a schedule this semester has really changed that, because previous semesters it's always been all about work, all about my friends, all about all of this, my social life, working out, all about everything but school. And I finally have set my priorities straight, and now I'm on a schedule and I'm able to maintain and I'm able to know when I have to do what where. So I think that this semester has been something that is needed to happen. And it's been painful and it's been rough, and I don't like recognizing the fact that I've made mistakes because nobody likes that. But I have been able to recognize the mistakes that I've made, and I feel like I've been able to rectify those mistakes, and I already see an improvement. So I'm really excited to see how I continue to improve through the rest of the year. And another thing, like, just kind of as an end note, your curriculum and your class has made me thirsty for that knowledge that I haven't had in, you know, 10 years almost, like between 5 and 10 years, because I used to be in a place where I was very goal oriented and I was surrounded by these mindful people, and I was learning these techniques that, like, I think every successful person has. I was learning all of these different goals, and I was going to seminars, and I had all of these amazing tools, and then I just kind of stopped using them, and I stopped seeking knowledge and seeking information about how to improve my life and how to make myself the best person I can possibly be. And your class reminded me of that. It reminded me how great it feels to be knowledgeable on this stuff, and how great it feels to have these tools and use them and implement them. And so I've started reading self-help books again. I've started listening to TED Talks. I've started going to mindfulness workshops. I've started having these really important discussions with people that are going to not only help me through college, but help me through the rest of my life. So thank you so much for reminding me how important that was. Yeah, this is my final, and I appreciate your time, and I've really thoroughly enjoyed the class, even though I went into it pretty close-minded. So keep doing what you're doing. Thanks.